In 1845, 129 elite men vanished into the Arctic ice on two indestructible ships. For 170 years, the government told you they simply froze to death. But when scientists finally dug up their graves, they found something that terrified them. The bones weren't just broken, they had teeth marks. Human teeth marks. This was the Apollo mission of the 19th century. Sir John Franklin, a legendary and decorated explorer, led the ultimate Arctic expedition. His weapons? The HMS Erebus and HMS Terror. These weren't just ordinary wooden ships. They were indestructible iron-reinforced monsters, outfitted with revolutionary locomotive steam engines, internal heating systems, and a massive 3-year supply of the finest, most premium canned food available to the British Empire. They had thousands of library books, grand piano instruments, and fine porcelain. They were absolutely invincible. The British public celebrated their departure, fully expecting them to conquer the legendary Northwest Passage in just a matter of months. Glory was guaranteed. But as they sailed further north, past the edge of the known world, the green shores faded into a blinding white abyss. They did not know that the Arctic isn't just cold. It's a living, breathing, frozen trap. And it was waiting for them to make a single mistake. September 1846. The trap snapped shut. The royal ships reached the frozen waters of King William Island, and suddenly the ocean transformed. Like giant white teeth, the heavy pack ice closed in, locking around the reinforced hulls of the Terror and Erebus. They were completely stuck, locked in a frozen vice. But at first, the officers weren't worried. Why should they be? They sat inside warm cabins, burning coal, eating luxury soups from their thousands of tin cans. They believed the summer sun of 1847 would melt the ice and set them free. But the summer sun never came. Instead, winter returned with a brutal vengeance. Darkness lasted for months, 24 hours a day. Extreme, absolute blackness. And that's when the isolation began to warp their minds. Inside the cramped, pitch-black lower decks, the men started changing. It began subtly, with sudden mood swings and heavy silence. Then, it mutated into extreme, violent paranoia. Best friends began staring at each other with intense hatred and suspicion. Whispered conspiracies filled the cold air. Men claimed they heard strange voices outside the halls. And then, the first bodies began to fall. Young, healthy sailors died screaming in their bunks, coughing up dark blood, their gums turning black and rotten. The ice graveyard had opened its doors. June 1847. The expedition faces its ultimate disaster. The leader, Sir John Franklin, dies mysteriously inside his cabin. His grave is hidden somewhere in the deep ice, never to be found. Command immediately falls to the desperate Captain James Crozier. He looks out the frost-covered window and realizes the terrifying truth. The ice is never going to melt. They are trapped forever. By April 1848, after nearly 2 brutal years in total, terrifying isolation, 11 elite officers and 15 sailors are already dead. The remaining 105 men are starving, shivering, and losing their minds. Captain Crozier makes a desperate, suicidal choice. Abandon the ships. They step out onto the jagged, frozen desert. Their impossible plan? Walk 1,000 miles across the barren, freezing ice to safety. But their poisoned minds are no longer thinking straight. Instead of carrying only survival gear, the mad sailors load massive, heavy wooden lifeboats onto sledges and drag them across the ice. Inside these boats, they pack useless luxury items: heavy silver forks, fine china plates, Victorian slippers, and silk pajamas. They are dragging hundreds of pounds of trash through a blinding blizzard, burning away their last remaining strength for items that cannot save them. One by one, men drop dead in their tracks, frozen solid before they even hit the snow. But why did they go completely mad? Why would highly trained, elite British sailors abandon indestructible ships filled with coal and warm blankets just to drag silver spoons into a deadly Arctic blizzard? It makes no sense. For over a century, it was history's greatest puzzle, until the 1980s. Anthropologists traveled to the Arctic and exhumed 3 perfectly preserved bodies of Franklin's crew from the deep permafrost. When they opened the coffins, the faces looked back at them, completely intact, frozen in time. And what scientists uncovered inside their tissues changed history forever. The breakthrough technology that was supposed to save them, their revolutionary canned food, was their executioner. To save money, the manufacturing company had sealed the tin cans with cheap, toxic lead solder. For 2 long years, the men were eating slow, deadly poison with every single meal. The lead leaked directly into their food, building up in their bloodstreams. It poisoned their bodies, but worse, it poisoned their brains. It caused advanced lead-induced insanity, total organ failure, blinding headaches, and severe, terrifying delusions. They weren't making rational choices because they were completely, utterly insane. And as the survivors walked down the coast of King William Island, starving, freezing, and entirely mad, the ultimate, unthinkable horror began. The food was gone. The poison was screaming in their brains. To survive, they turned on each other. The strongest hunted the weakest. They became monsters in the dark. Recent forensic analysis of the recovered bones proved the final nightmare. Deep knife cuts and human teeth marks on the remains. They ate their comrades alive. In 2014 and 2016, underwater archaeologists made a stunning discovery. The wrecks of HMS Erebus and HMS Terror were finally located at the bottom of the frozen ocean, perfectly preserved by the freezing, icy water. Deep-sea cameras revealed that inside the sunken hulls, books, clothing, and secret logbooks remain entirely untouched, frozen in time. Yet, the government keeps a very tight lid on what is truly being brought up from those sunken cabins. Are there private journals down there, describing the final, horrific hours of the last surviving men? What deep, dark secrets did Captain Crozier write before the madness took his hand? The Arctic ice has guarded this terrifying secret for nearly 180 years. And perhaps some horrors are better left frozen forever in the dark. The Arctic ice holds more bodies, more ghosts, and more terrifying secrets than we dare to imagine. If you were standing on that frozen wasteland, would you have followed Captain Crozier or stayed with the ships? Comment the word terror below right now if you want a deep dive into the secret documents found inside the captain's private safe. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and whatever you do, don't let the cold get to you. See you in the next dark chapter of history.